Okay, I thought I was pausing that. I guess I stopped it. Okay, so that was like a 20-minute video before I had my coughing fit on the court today. And when I got home from court, I have this motion to amend the order of protection. And this is going to be heard on the 22nd of September. And they're asking to put Dilara on the order of protection from June 15, 2015, that when I hired a lawyer last year, they took Dilara off of it. Now I don't have a lawyer, so they're asking to put Dilara back on it. And the reason they want Dilara to be back on it is because they're saying that I'm stalking and harassing and embarrassing Dilara. And I would bet money. I wouldn't bet my life. I wouldn't really bet money. But I expect if I go to court September 21st, Judge Philip Robinson's office, this is how bad things are. Sarah Rice goes in there with her lies. And I expect he will put me on the order of protection being extended for 5 years. And I guess I would appeal it. But that gives them control of my daughter's life till it gets overturned on appeal. But it won't get overturned on appeal. I don't believe it would get overturned on appeal because I'm a pro se litigant and up against a lawyer. So it almost never happens. Even lawyers rarely win on an appeal. I won one very small, well, it was a big thing. It was a constitutional issue, but all of this is constitutional issues. What's in question here is my constitutionally protected right to have a relationship with my own biological child, and her right to have a relationship with me. And I do have witnesses coming to court. Far as I'm 3 days before trial, they're supposed to tell me who their witnesses are. I've talked to my daughter's counselor. I should subpoena her. There is no evidence whatsoever that my daughter feels stalked and harassed and embarrassed by me. Zero evidence. So why would they go in there and lie about it? Because lying wins. They've been winning with lies from day one, 3 years ago. So why should they stop now? Why should they expect somebody would tell them no? I'm not going to interfere with this woman's constitutionally protected rights just because you say so. I'm going to require proof. I'm going to require some laws, some justification for why this woman should be denied her constitutionally protected rights, and why her little girl, who all the facts show, including father's testimony, show that she wants to be returned to her, returned home to me for my fair share of the parenting time that she enjoyed for the first 5.5 years of her life. I mean, that's in the record. Father has admitted that. Yeah. But now he's suddenly saying, now that we've got this custody modification coming up, and we did have 2 good days of trial and testimony in May, so we're kind of like halfway through. So, if he gets this order of protection, this no contact order, he can do what he did last year and say, oops, well, the judge will have to say, well, I can't give the mother primary custody because there's an order of protection keeping her from having any contact with her child for 5 years. Because the order of protection supersedes the juvenile court orders. So they played this dirty trick 2015, and it worked out so well for them. Why wouldn't they try it again? Other than it's unlawful and unethical. But why let that stop them? So, and I have been trying, and I'm not going to give up. I will never give up. Ever. I won't give up. I don't care what they do. I don't care if they put me in jail for the next 5 years. I'm not gonna give up my relationship with my daughter. And I'm not gonna stop complaining about the malpractice of the lawyer and the violation of duty of the judges. It's horrible. If I'm the only person in the world standing up and saying, and I'm not the only person in the world, but there really seriously needs to be people concerned enough to stand up and say this is not. But you get people really get up in arms about the bathroom issue. And personally, I'm glad if a bathroom's got individual stalls and it's a women's bathroom and there's a man who thinks he's a woman, if he wants to come in there and have a stall, do his business in his own stall, I don't have a problem with that. I don't. But if I wanted to fight against that and say, oh, I don't want to share my bathroom with some you're sharing it with strangers anyway. So that gets all kinds of news coverage. Mainstream media, I mean, people are all about that over, can we share a bathroom with somebody who's not just a stranger, but somebody who thinks a man thinks he's a woman. That gets all kinds of attention. But you have a little girl, 5.5-year-old girl, gets dragged to court, or her name gets dragged to court, and gets her rights taken away. Her rights to a relationship with her mother and her brother and sister, and well, she gets to see her older half sister. It's the only person in the family that she gets to see, and she wouldn't be getting to see her unless she followed all the restrictions put on her, such as don't give Dilara anything from her mom. Don't talk to the phone to your mom when Dilara's around. Stuff like that. So I understand why you can fight so much over bathrooms. But why am I having such a hard time getting somebody to stand up for my little girl's right to a relationship with her mother? She's been begging for 2 years to get to come home. And complaining and being very upset about it. And I'm not enough people know about it. I'm trying to get more people to know about it. But I only need a few people to know about it who have money or influence to help me get the attention I need, and then maybe people will in their clubs or in their church groups or in their families, they'll say, oh, did you hear about Lydia Hubble and her little girl Dilara Gadare, and how Lydia's been arrested 6 times on false charges because they're harassing her and they're trying to make her look bad and keep her from seeing her little girl. And I have been asking years and years, show me how you've ever met that bar of showing harm, that I have harmed, or there's a significant threat of harm to my child that gives the government the right to interfere with my parental rights. And I know I've got shared custody, but I should have equal rights. And they're not even letting me exercise my non-custodial rights. They've ordered supervised visitation on me without meeting the bar they're supposed to meet. And I don't know, I'm just going to have to wait and see if my case gets enough attention that the judges and lawyers know that they're being watched, and that there's already enough things to complain about, make formal complaints against Sheila Calloway, Judge Philip Robinson, lawyer Sarah Rice Digby and Dilara's guardian ad litem, court-appointed guardian ad litem, Charlene Pye Mack. There's plenty of stuff, and I can make available the proof to anybody who wants to file a complaint against them. I haven't filed mine yet, but it's coming. So, yeah, and I'm gonna upload all of these in an album. In fact, I'm probably gonna do it here in just well, I don't know. It's kind of long. I might take a nap first. I'm really quite exhausted from my day in court, and I'm wearing my Team Dilara necklace, which I was gonna have my older daughter give this to Dilara, because Shania, Dilara's best friend Shania, and I have been making bracelets and with Dilara's name on it. But even though there's no court order giving him this authority, he has taken it upon himself to make sure Dilara doesn't get anything from me. So I'm wearing it. I'm in the video, and someday Dilara will see this, and I'll say, Dilara, this was supposed to be in your hands Saturday. This is Monday. I meant for you to have this Monday, and Shania, and we meant for you to have a bracelet, Team Dilara bracelet. So I'm going to upload all this, and but yeah, that's what the allegation is that I'm stalking and harassing Dilara and embarrassing her, and yeah, so they're claiming I'm violating a restraining order and order protection. Therefore, they need to deprive me of. They need to punish me. Forget about Dilara's right to see her mother. They think, and that's what they've done for day one, from when they first got this order protection, and I went to speak privately with this man who I was under court order to make joint decisions with. He didn't want to talk to me. I tried to talk to him one last time to work things out before I filed to enforce the court-ordered parenting time, and because he felt harassed, and a lot of other things, like they claimed that I was pursuing a romantic relationship with him, and they claimed that I was sending him messages and love songs and threatening to beat him up. And you look at the evidence they were trying to present as supporting their allegations, and it's nothing like that. Sarah has, it's amazing. One day I'll put all those up there. This is what she said this says. It's very clear what it says. But Judge Philip Robinson bought Sarah Rice's story. So if you think it's okay for judges to put a parent's desires to deprive other people of their fundamental liberties, if you think the child's needs should be secondary to the parent's desires, and I'm not talking about something big like moving, the child doesn't want to move, or the child doesn't want the mother to get remarried. I'm talking about the child's desire for a relationship with their own biological mother, who is, that relationship is protected by the Constitution. Supreme Court. I'll put case law online for that. So, if you think all this is okay, you can just listen to this and see what happens. If you don't think it's okay, you should call Sarah Rice Digby and tell her that you don't approve, and you're planning on filing a complaint against her for the lies and misrepresentations, and this is a malicious abuse of process. And she's operating outside of the bounds of the law. She's in violation of her oath of office. She's in violation of her code of professional responsibility. And This hasn't happened yet. As far as I know, I only know of just a few people who have contacted this lawyer and spoke up for, I guess, more speaking up for me than they were against the abuse. But Sarah Rice Digby is behind all this. Her phone number is 615-997-3741. Her email is sarah@digbyfamilylaw.com. Her address is 116 29th Avenue South, Nashville, Tennessee, 37212. And I filed I didn't file it. I gave her a Rule 11 motion, a motion for sanctions under Rule 11 for all these false allegations. And I think she probably got them before, I don't know what day it was that I served that motion on her. Well, it was 21. Yeah, it was before that because I had to give her a 21-day safe harbor period. So it must have been the 1st or the August 31st. But she had 21 days. The 21 days is up the day we're supposed to go to court. So she goes and files this garbage after I give her that motion for sanctions with the same allegations that the child needs protection from me because the child is embarrassed, is being stalked and harassed. And then they're also saying, because I did go to the school, because at this point I'm desperate enough. I'm openly challenging some orders, like this restraining order. So I go to the school, and because they can't arrest me on the spot for that, they have to have a hearing. So a hearing, I'll see what happens. Because they went and got this ex parte order of protection. It's all bogus. All bogus. So yeah, I went to the school. It was not on school property. They want to... Where in the law does it say that you can punish... My understanding is for contempt of court, you get 10 days in jail. Where does it say for contempt of court you could punish a mother by cutting her off from her child for 5 years? I would think that would constitute cruel and unusual punishment. Would you agree? Is that fair for me to disobey a court order that says for me to stay 500 feet from my daughter's school? I go within 500 feet of my daughter's school, so I should be cut off from my daughter for 5 years. Does that make sense to you? That's what Sarah Rice Digby is asking for. She's supposed to support. I do, and not just cruel and unusual punishment for me. When the law says you can be punished with jail, if you have criminal contempt, you can be punished with jail up to 10 days per offense. So why is she asking for me to be cut off from my daughter for 5 years? And is my daughter going to come testify? How are they going to prove my daughter feels embarrassed and harassed and stalked, or that her behavior's problems? I've got I've talked to the school. I've got weekly reports. No behavior problems for my daughter. No indication she's upset about anything. The counselor, Dilara's Dr. Berryman. Dilara still wants to see me. She still loves me. She still misses me. She hasn't felt stalked and harassed. When the chalked messages, she didn't have a problem with that. She does not. My daughter does not have a problem with me chalking on the sidewalk messages to her and to the public about what's going on. My daughter trusts me. She knows I'm trying to get her home. And she was confused at first when she didn't know who wrote it. But when she found out who wrote it, she's fine with it. That's what her counselor said. So how are you going to... And she still wants to see me. So why when we've got an abundance of evidence, including from the father, saying that Dilara wants to see me, how can you go to a judge and say, you need to make sure the child does not see the mother for 5 years, and if the mother does see the child within 5 years, you put the mother in jail? That's where we're at. All right, I'm cutting this off. Probably gonna go take a nap. But I need some help. My daughter needs some help. And not just us. But this kind of garbage is going on all the time. And it's going to keep going on until enough people like me stand up and do something about it. And I went to Clarksville when there was injustice going on. Baby Stefan Rivenberg. And I'm focused on my own case right now. But I'm not going to stop. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And if I can get justice in this case, it's going to be a threat to the injustice. And I wish the people would stand up and do what I'm telling you what needs to be done. At this point, you cannot throw enough money at my case to fix it. If I have a lawyer, it might help things a little bit. But it won't be enough. The lawyers and the judges need to hear from the public. The public, they need to know the public's paying attention. They need to know that the public is not happy with the way the children are being treated. And it's not just my child. They're doing this garbage to countless children. They're putting one or both parents in custody problems. If you got a custody thing that goes to court, at least one of the parents has got issues, more than likely. But in DCS cases, they do this even worse than this. But they go in there and they tell lies and they steal kids. And they're depriving these children of what the children need to develop normally and function in their environment. That's severe child abuse, and it's court-ordered, and it needs to stop. That's why I wrote on the sidewalk, stop court-ordered child abuse. Children need both parents. And the fact that they will have me arrested for saying that, that should let you know how screwed up things are. And it's not going to get better unless the people stand up and say we're not taking it anymore.